Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elconin. Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Pre-Market Info.
Market doesn't disappoint there. Yesterday, Joel ends up going positive. We're positive again here this morning, making new high 1669.75, breaking out here once again.
Flirted with Monday's low early in the session, which was 1660. Monday's low was 1659.75, made a 1660 low. Bounced right off that, made a new high for the move at 1673 and a quarter. That's your target on the upside.
And market here for gold and silver is bouncing back today nicely. GLD is up $1.85. You go to the gold futures, that's about an $18 upswing here. This whole 1400 level, though, in those gold futures, starting to get a little resistance there.
Starting to get a little thick there. Only got to 99.90 yesterday, 97.90 the day before. The high today has been 96.50. So for you anti-gold bugs here, as long as gold stays under $1,400, we look poised to test the 3-day low of 1336.30, and didn't make, unlike silver, which made a new low for the move. The low for the move is still in at gold at 1321.50. Silver, I know you talk about your V bottoms. Was that the bottom there, the V bottom at 2023?
I think it could have been. Like, I always like to see a washout day, a day where everybody says, look, I just need to get out of this. That was in the pre-market there. I think was it Monday, Joel, a pre-market trading that had that big downswing? Was that Monday's move when it was down?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
down over 6% there in the pre-market, or 7% in the pre-market. We came in actually around 8, 9 o'clock. It started to rally, and I think that day actually closed positive. So I think that was the washout day here in silver, and actually that makes me a little bit more bullish the gold too. We've bumped up here against the 1400 area in the gold futures 3-4 times here. Eventually, if it keeps bumping up against that area, I think it could take it out. So I'm not that bearish the commodities here right now. I know, it's been like, it's hard to go against the trend here on all these things, but I'd love to see silver. I'd love to see this rally. Like, we absolutely cannot give this rally back here today, because that would not be a good story for the bulls. But slow, steady climb here in the silver and gold this morning is good news. Crude, what's going
Uh,
on in crude?
Crude, basically been trading in a 2 point range for the last 4 days here. 95 being the bottom of that range, 95.06, and then sneaking your head above 97 on a couple occasions here, but unable to close there. So it's good support that 95 level. If not, things look pretty thin in the 94 handled down to the 93.50 level, but couple days of consolidation here after a huge rally coming from under 87.
Do have some news that just broke at 8 o'clock in Pfizer. Going to go to Jake on the Benzinga news team there. What happened? What's Pfizer? They're going to do some type of split off here of, or the remaining
Yeah,
shares.
absolutely. So what Pfizer did is they, if you guys are familiar with Zoetis, that's Zulu Tango Sandy. They're a pharmaceutical company for animal-based drugs. This could be for cattle, it could be for household pets. Basically, it's a big pharma just on the animal side. It was started within Pfizer, and then it went public 180 days ago. This is now the lockup expiration for the shares that Pfizer owns. And Pfizer announced that it would be spinning off its 160.39 million shares of Class A common stock, and it would also be converting its 400.985 million shares of Class B common stock to Class A stock of Zoetis. So that's adding basically another 160 million shares to the float of Zoetis, and then it looks like it might be preparing for another sale of stock in the near future. So kind of pushing Zoetis down a little bit, while Pfizer is shooting up in the pre-market on that additional capital we'll be getting from the deal.
Yeah, Zebra Tango Simon there, which you just said Zoetis, the symbol there. Trading down a buck right now here, Joel. Bring up the chart if you can of ZTS, and trading down $1 here, just obviously on a little bit of, I guess, dilution from Pfizer there. But this is good news for Pfizer here overall, because Pfizer actually it shows only down 32.65, but it's offered down at 31.99 right now. So it is offered lower. So it looks like it's going to open down at least a buck here. The Pfizer has been getting a good rally on this morning since they announced this. It closed at 28.78. It just ticked up to 29.5, but now has pulled back down to 29.20. Obviously, the Pfizer chart has not been a good one. It's been kind of breaking down here for 4 days in a row. So this could be a day that bucks a trend, but I don't really love the pricing action here right now in the pre-market because it's given back half its gains already.
The Pfizer here, looking at that's a huge move for Pfizer in the pre-market. We did get over 29.50 here, hit a high of 29.55, have pulled back correct. I mean, that is a huge move for this stock. Looking at the dailies here, it kind of just been wallowing for the last few days. Now you're getting a lift right up here, right above the 29.50 level. Had a high at 29.58 on the 16th of this month, and then 29.69. So I think if it gets back up into that area again, I think you're looking at some excellent resistance. The ZTS, really not much volume is traded in this stock. Been trading in a tight range until this news came out. Kind of a spiky stock here. You said it's offered under 32 here. Minor support coming in at 31.61. That was a low on April 26th. And then you're looking under the $31 level at 30.75.
News from Saks. Obviously, they had the good earnings report there yesterday morning. Well, they followed that up. New York Post reporting that they've hired Goldman Sachs to explore strategic alternatives, including a possible sale. This has got the stock, this was broke about maybe 4:30 last night after the close, and the stock just took off. It was closed at 13.67, blew through the 14 handle, blew through the 15 handle, now trading in the 16 handle. So what a 2-day move here for Saks. Right before the earnings report, this was under 12 bucks. It's now over 16. Just an incredible move for this retail company.
The pop got up to 1670 here. That not too long ago traded up to that level. When you're exploring a sale here, I mean, obviously, until some kind of price comes out, you're flirting with danger here on the long side. What's interesting about this is they did have a nice 2-day run going into this, so the memo.
Well, that was earnings too. Let's give them a break on that. That was
okay.
The run up before the earnings and the earnings. So I'm not going to say. You never know who knows what, and we'll get to that in a second with the Merck. But with Saks, obviously that was a run up before the earnings and the earnings. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one because it did have a decent earnings report.
All right, so this stock is, after the financial crisis. I mean, it has recovered. It was under a $2 stock back during the financial crisis. Has rebounded nicely.
But speaking of memos here, I don't know who got the memo on the Merck yesterday because I was asking. We had the Benzinga news team was searching for news on it. Yesterday, Merck was up $2. I couldn't find anything. Benzinga couldn't find anything during the day, and stock obviously closed right near the highs. It was an incredible move yesterday for Merck. After the close, they announced a $5 billion accelerated buyback. So I don't know. It looks like somebody did get the memo on that one. Stock is trading up here again in the pre-market, 47.68 on the $5 billion stock buyback.
Accelerated. I mean, what could be quicker than sending the orders to the floor yesterday?
No, it looks like they did do it yesterday with the stock up too. That was an insane move for Merck. It just was straight up. There was no mercy. If you were short that thing, ouch.
Especially for Merck. After the news came out, all the people that bought the last couple of days decided to look at the $48 level. 47.95 is where we've topped out. Since hitting that 47.95, pull back to 47.50, so that's going to be your minor support level. Looking at the daily chart in this stock, keeping an eye on yesterday's high, 47.53. Another minor resistance point at 47.84, but I guess the only thing you could look at now would be that round number right around the $48 level. You had 3 highs in a row back in April between 48 even and 48.12.
Yeah, I like that $48 level too. Lots of earnings here this morning. Let's start with Lowe's because, interesting enough, you had the great report from Home Depot, which obviously set up, Lowe's was actually strong early in the day, but then started to close weak and closed actually not that far off the lows of the day, no pun intended. 49 cents versus 51 they report this morning, so they missed. So where Home Depot did everything right, Lowe's did not, and Lowe's is trading down a buck on that earnings report.
Yeah, pretty big move for Lowe's. That couldn't ride the momentum of the Home Depot news all day yesterday. Interestingly, this stock did trade under $41 here, made a low at 40.45, and kind of been on a buck rally since then. So don't fret if you're worried about it being down a buck. It was down two. Trading right now at 41.50, just off the morning high of 41.57. Looking at the dailies here, you did have some major support here at 42.16 and 18. Those are the lows from the last 2 days, lows and lows. So I think get back above that $42 level, back up to 42.18. I think you'll find some major resistance coming back on the downside. We did cut through some support levels here, but the pre-market low, 41.55. We're trading below that level. Need to go under 40.50 here, but I don't see Lowe's getting that low today.
And we got Target reported earnings here as well. They actually blew the number away, $1.05 versus 86 cents. But then the revenue was light, 16.7 billion versus 16.85 billion estimates, and they lowered the full year guidance there. They were up at 485 to 505. They're lowering that to 470 to 490, and that is beating up the stock here this morning. So despite making a new 52-week high yesterday ahead of the earnings at 71.26, we are down almost $2 on Target here this morning.
Bouncing off the 69.40 level here and getting a little rise since we've hit that 69.40. The rally immediately stopped at 70.05. So I look at 70 as a minor resistance level. Below the 69.40 level here, got a bogey here right around the $69 level. Had three lows back at the beginning of the month between 68.90 and 69.14. So had held three times before. Perhaps we'll get a bounce off that level this morning.
Yet Toll Brothers reported earnings here too, Joel. Stock is trading up 14 cents versus 7 cents, and the stock's up a buck and a half here this morning. 36.01's where it closed, now trading up at 37 and a half. Yesterday's, or 2 days ago, we had a high at 37.52. Is that where they're trying to press the stock up to?
Yeah, exactly. Little volume is traded in this thing, but we're still up there anyways. 37.51, we just hit that. Let's take a look at the dailies, and Dennis hit right correctly. 37.52 was the high from Monday, so we'll keep an eye right there. Lows opening up into resistance. I believe this is like a well, no, we still above that area. Yeah, 38 looks huge. You got some big institutional orders kicking around.
I can't see anything at 38, but it wouldn't surprise me because, and you know why? Because I look at the high on the 15th of 37.94. I look at the high on the 13th. This is of February of 37.91. That makes me think there's probably an institution sitting at the point, and you get all those short-term traders probably sitting in front of that institution for safety. So I would bet if it gets up into that high 37s, bet you might find some high frequency resistance there again as they lean on that $38 number. AEO also reported, lots of retailers reporting. This must be the whole week that they all report. AEO, which is American Eagle Outfitters, reported 18 cents versus 17, so they beat by a penny. Wasn't quite enough. It did get beat up a little bit more earlier here. Is now trading just about flat, actually. Closed at 20.31, just traded 20.35. So it's kind of been a yo-yo here this morning. Traded up and traded down. Now it's trading flat.
Yeah, these retailers, 1961 hit. That was the low that we just hit just a little bit after the 8 o'clock hour. Getting a rebound off that, trading at the highest level since hitting that 1961 low. Looking at the daily at this chart here, 20.50, just as major resistance here. You hit that level back on May 15th. You hit 20.39 yesterday. So there you're pretty close to some good resistance here. Above 2050 here, we're looking at the $21 level. Coming back down here, the pre-market low of 1961 uh, coincides with 3 out of the 4 lows you had in the middle of the month between 1956 and 1968. So got some good levels, relevant levels to look at in AEO.
Remember, if you're a paratrader too, ARO, which is Aeropostale, often does trade very closely with AEO. It hasn't traded here this morning, but keep an eye. If you're trading ARO today, you definitely want to keep an eye on the action on AEO. Looking here, lots of upgrades and downgrades. Let's focus on just a few of them here. Bristol Myers getting upgraded at Citigroup here this morning. And Bristol Myers, which has been on a pretty good tear, is up here again this morning. It's up 70 cents at 44.80 after closing at 44.06. Big run up here for Bristol Myers this morning.
Yet 44.88 is where we topped out, only trading 8 cents below that level right now at 44.80. I noticed this stock a couple days ago. I was trying to find news on it this day, and I believe that's a daily in BMY. It's kind of hard to believe that it had that kind of move here. Maybe this is the day they decided they were going to upgrade it, but 42.16, and then had a rally up
There
to
was some news that day. I
45.50.
can't remember what it was now. But
Real,
yeah,
came out late, but we're trading above this 44.54 level. That was the 4-day high. So keep an eye on that as minor support. Also, you had yesterday's high at 44.44. You get above this 44.54 level. Can't really find anything up to that 45.59 level, but you might have some people that missed that run up originally over 45, looking to stack some orders in that area as well.
Susquehanna's hopping on the CHK bandwagon. CHK's had a pretty good month. It was down at 19 at the beginning of May. It's now trading up over 21 this morning at 21.22 on a Susquehanna upgrade here. CHK now breaking out again. I see a lot of air here, Joel. You look at the chart above 21.20, which was high from yesterday. I'm looking back at that 22 level where we had on March 19th. We had a high of 21.95. Looks like a lot of air in the 21s.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on this one. When you look at this stock here, when it flirted with the $21 level back in mid-March, and then it got up to that level again on May 3rd, May 14th, it quickly repelled and really backed off from that level. Yesterday was a different story. Opened at 21, did sell off, but only got as low as 20.82, just closed off the low of the day. So now we're hanging up here. We're back. We talked about the 21 level yesterday. Easily, it's not a lot to see up to 21.50, and then right back up to that magical round number of 22 at 21.95. Looking at the pre-market, they just spotty trades here, but it's holding above. I mean, this one, it'd be really nice if it just got a quick dash down right back to 21. Try a lower risk long-term buy.
Getting short on time, just going to say Soda was downgraded by J.P. Morgan here and is trading down a couple of bucks on the pre-market. I missed NetTap when I was doing the earnings. I just looked at my sheet here. NetTap did report earnings last night of 69 versus 68. The revenue was a bit light, but they did announce a $3 billion stock buyback and intentions to initiate a dividend as well. So NTAP actually getting a really good pop here in the pre-market. A couple tops up there at 30 in the 39 area. Looks like that's where they're trying to press this to.
Right, the initial pop here, 39.35. Take a look at the dailies here. You have had the high of the move here, previous high of the move at 39.15. So got a couple areas to look at as potential resistance. People seem to be liking the news on NTAP.
You were talking about Google yesterday giving a double top there, a potential double top in the whole 920 area. Well, you tried calling the double top a couple times. You actually got it yesterday, maybe because Google did have a weak day, pulling back quite a bit. Actually ticked under 900 just briefly before bouncing back and to close at 906.97. Is trading up 50 cents here this morning, but are you still going to stay bearish Google here?
I mean, it's because 4 days, 5 days of consolidation here between 900 and 920. You had the flick pain under, the people, holding out at that
Yeah, hit some
$900 number.
stops.
Yeah, hit some stops, jam them down there, and pop it back up $10. I would say, yeah, I'll move down. I'll move my mental stop down here from that 920 level to yesterday's high at 911.66. I think above there you run back up to the $920 level. But man, there's just no quitting this thing.
Then you look at Apple. You were talking about a potential double top, and Apple here is up this morning, trading up $3 after obviously the news from the Senate looking at their tax practices and stuff yesterday. The highs though from the previous 2 days, 445.80
Yep.
and 445.48. So that whole 445 area is getting a little bit thick.
Huge, man. Two highs there, 445.48, 445.80. Major resistance there. I think you pop above there, and there's not a lot of real estate going up to the 460 area. I was hoping that they would pound it a little bit more yesterday and perhaps get down to that 430 level where we had a double bottom. But I guess Cook satisfied investors. I don't know about the government, but investors sure took a liking to the stock yesterday after he was speaking.
What about IBM's chart? Looking here, obviously they had the disappointing earnings and the stock sold off significantly off that, over $25 basically in the course of a couple of days. It has now got that entire move back. It's trading up in this whole 210 area where we had major support for the month of March. Is that area going to now act as resistance?
You know how you can like draw things on the chart, like, bought here, sold here, for those advertisements? I could put a little thing here. Dennis told me not to buy
Ha!
here.
You're gonna pick on me. You're gonna pick on me for that one. I still don't forgive you for J.P. Morgan, so I always have that one back after the whale trade when I wanted to buy it at $31, and Joe's like, nah. You get this thing at 29, and I held off and I
Well,
didn't buy it.
and if I would have been fortunate enough to buy it there and held it all the way, past filling the gap here, just got to be aware of this 209.50 area. 209.50 was a high on Friday. It was a high yesterday. Another high there, 209.15. So nice resistance above there. Get above there. There's a little bit more real estate, but it's rare to see that that tight a range or highs in that close a area in IBM. So not trading there in the pre-market. Looks like we're flat, but we'll see if it makes another run at that area.
Pfizer's still moving up here, 29.70 now, just ticked up too. So had that little pullback and now popping up here again if you show the pre-market chart. So impressive move, impressive follow through here for Pfizer this morning.
You
Overall,
licking your chops on this one, Dennis? I mean, come on. A buck move in Pfizer? I mean, come on.
I don't know. I'm actually still, it's one of my biggest investments. I don't have it on for a trade right now, but it is in my investment portfolio, so I actually enjoy the move when it's moving up from an investment standpoint. You got to think that $30 is going to give you some type of resistance. Big psychological level like that hasn't been up there in a month. Maybe, you start to top out in the 29.90s. I'm not sure. What do you think of this market, though? We're going to take out the highs from yesterday.
What else think? What else can you think about this
That's all
market?
it does.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday, I mean, still got it this whole 1660 level, major support. We're $10 away there. I don't think until we crack that, it continues to move higher. Just to think, I was looking at this chart from yesterday, and I mean, in all my years watching the markets, man, except for like the crazy volatility during the financial crisis, have you ever seen the market blow through 100-point handle in the S&Ps quicker than we just
1600s.
got above this 1600? I mean, it just seems like it's just on a march from yesterday,
Yep.
and you had Goldman yesterday, like upping the market's estimates for this year, next year, the year after, and stuff. I mean, it's just no stop in this market. If you have to pick a resistance point, or you're still trying to short this thing, high of the move so far has been 1673.25.
Yeah, the bulls still appear to be in control here, so I'd keep an eye on that high from yesterday. We take that out. We'll probably keep trying to march her up to that 1680 area. That's our show for today, guys. Have a great trading day. Back with you tomorrow.